We're live. All right, we're live. Something happened with the stupid. Hold on, let me move this over to the other screen here. Come on, computer, talk nice to me. Something happened with the YouTube app there. Wouldn't let us connect there, giving us all kinds of fits. So I hope everybody follows us over to the StreamYard stream here. With me tonight, I have everybody's favorite, the rookie trucker. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. And right away, Fate Trucking in the house, who thinks he's blocked because he is. Says the only way to make money in trucking is to invest in other people's money in your business. Have no skin in the game. That's the kind of things that get you blocked right away. I'm just saying.
Oh,
so
God.
we're gonna talk tonight. We're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff. See, we're gonna get about 75 people in here. See if we can't hurt everybody's feelings. Because tonight is brought to you by Mountain Crest Classic Lager. Never heard of it, but I love a bargain, and it's $2.85 for a 4-pack.
Can't beat that. That's what you need in these times.
What's your budget poison of choice tonight?
I stepped it up. I think these were what, $3.50 for 4 beers?
Approximately.
You know, we got the election coming up, so went with the red, white, and blue. Not to get political, but
okay. All right.
You already know.
I do know. Let's see who we got in here anyway before we get into this all trucking thing. Like I said, Freight Trucking's in the house. Stanza Transport says, "Yo, how is everyone? We're doing good. How are you? Bull of the Woods, thanks for coming in with both feet. Hashtag cancel something or other. How you doing, buddy? Desert Okie Pam, evening. It's been a while. Feels good to be back. Fighting a lot of struggles here lately, so just need to get back on YouTube here. Hollywood in the house says, "Thanks, DIY. Used your advice from our phone call and purchased my second truck and used all the tools, your advices and things going good. Thank you." Oh, Hollywood, I never put 2 and 2 together that you were the person that I talked to. I don't think when we talked on the phone that you told me that you were Hollywood. Okay, I enjoyed our phone call. You're exactly the type of person I like to talk to. You're going to do well. You're going to succeed. You're doing all the right things. Wish you all the best of luck. We're always all here for you. And who knows, maybe someday we end up crossing paths or doing something. You never know. With both feet saying, "Yo, DIY and rookie." Dan's Hotshot Outdoor Trucking Adventures Pacific Northwest says, "Evening, everyone." Paul Harris in the house. High quality beverages. Budgetary minded, I like to say. You know, winter's coming. I'm a squirrel that likes to save those nuts up for the winter. Hey, come on. Barry Harbison, evening, gentlemen. Cheap Freight Hauler says $2,500 a week without owning equipment. Is it company driver? What do you suppose he means? What do you suppose? Oh, Fate Trucking with showing everybody how it's done with a $20 super chat. I need an advance to pay for my oil change. Can't cancel herpes. You can try. I recommend a wire brush and kerosene to try to cancel herpes. That'll get her done. If that don't work, just scrub harder and use more kerosene. Just saying. Gen Z Trucking in the house says, "Hey, anybody know why FMCSA wants to know how many queer drivers I have?" Or maybe the word was query. I'm thinking they meant query there, Gen Z Trucking. But you never know. Hey, in a post Caitlin society, anything is possible. Just saying. Yolanda Key in the house. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Hollywood says, "Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'll be out in the Midwest later this year. Customers got new lane there in Milwaukee. Woo! There you go, buddy. Look me up. We're a few hours away, but you never know. Might be in the neighborhood." Paul Harris says, "The bank owns your equipment. Not my equipment. They don't own none of mine. I got all my titles." Paul says, "Cancel herpes." I guess that's the theme for tonight. Welcome to the herpetic live stream. We're gonna tonight. We're gonna see what we can do about herpes. I don't know. How you been doing there? Rookie of the year, rookie trucker.
The rookie has been doing good. The rookie has had quite the year. Got married this year, so been real motivated and striving to hit goals that I thought were unachievable, but it sounds and looks like we're on track for them. But that's what you do when you set your goals to a whole nother standard. You know what I mean?
Mm.
No, it's been good. Um, don't know whether or not it's a good time to be spending money, but gosh, I really want to.
What are we spending money
Really
on?
want
What do we?
to. Mm,
First of all, marriage. That sounds painful. What's that like?
mm.
You,
Well, when
hey,
you've
let me
been
ask you this: You spending a lot of time together since you got married, are you?
tons, tons of time. No,
Yeah.
it's been good. It's been amazing so far.
Quality phone
I
time.
couldn't be. Yeah, lots of phone time. I don't know. I get some other co-drivers calling me more than my wife. It seems like, but you know,
You mean by co-drivers? You mean codependent drivers?
yeah, 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 yeah. Ones that call for advice and your opinion, and then they let you know that your opinion is wrong. Those kind.
Mm.
Hey, what's up, Fate? How are you? How are you, buddy?
Oh, oh, I feel like that was a shot.
No, no, I love Fate. He's all right.
How can you
Likes to
not
let
love
me
fate?
know. Oh, I love Fate. Fate. Fate has been a big contributor of to where I've you know where this journey has led to with a combination of others. But Fate's a good guy. Uh, yeah, he be calling a lot though sometimes.
Mm. You need a two phone system. You need to get that two
Mhm.
phone system working.
Get
Big
that burner
announcement.
phone.
Big announcement. Let me talk. Let me before we get into trucks. Let me talk about for a minute some updates on how the fuel card thing is going. Doing well. We're consistently now over 20,000 gallons a month. So we've gone and we've started negotiating some new pricing and some new opportunities. We're a lot of new fuel stops coming. I will say that, and we're gonna go mud flap on you this month. Uh, hell, first 25 people that sign up and get the fuel card, gonna send you $10 Ambucks gift card here. Use it for what you want. Use it for fuel. Use it for whatever you want to use it for. Signing up new this month. We'll say for the whole month of October. What the hell? And check out the here. I just posted a link in the chat. If you want to find out more about it, go back and watch older videos. Big things are still happening. I've been swamped. Honestly, have a lot going on in my personal life right now. A lot of um, illness type situations with family members. So I've been a little preoccupied. We're still doing everything we set out to do. It's just the days are full, and we got to get back into doing some of these other things. But things are going with that. If you're interested, we got some competitive deals. They're getting better all the time, and check it out, DIYsemi.com. So you're looking at spending some money, Mr. Rookie Trucker. What are you spending money on?
I don't know how much you loaned me.
Oh, right away. Right away. See, I was sweating the knife in my back, and now I got a knife like squarely between the third and fourth rib.
Nah,
I don't know which is more
nah.
painful.
When you stay focused and you set your goals high, you things line up to where you have the ability. Not that it's 100% the time to, but when you come across the right deal, and you have the right mentorship, maybe it's time to buy a trailer right now when everybody thinks the market's gonna continue shitting the bed. But yeah, I'm looking at a trailer right now. I'm not 100% sure, but
Don't you
um
already own? Don't you already own a trailer?
I do. I do. I own a great trailer. I love it. Very sentimental to me. Which you helped me get. You did.
That
You've
turned out
helped
to
me
be a great
find a
trailer.
deal. It has. I've got no issues with it. It's still doing what it's supposed to be doing. But someone told me, hey, if you're gonna upgrade anything, maybe upgrade your trailer in the future. And I've been looking hard for trailers for the last probably 7, 8 months. very aggressively in the last 3 months. But you know, I came across a deal that kind of fell in my lap that uh, hasn't been posted on Marketplace. Didn't really. I mean, I've been looking, but this is the one that it just seems like it just fell in my lap, and it seems like it's the right deal. Feeling good about it, so we'll see. When went and looked at it today, put my hands on it. It's a good trailer. It's got almost everything that I'm looking for. The stars are almost aligning, so we're just hashing out the. I need them tax write-offs. Let's just be real. I need them tax write-offs. Plain and simple. We're in the fourth quarter of the year. It's coming up. I'm doing the numbers, and I'm either gonna give it to Uncle Sam or I'm gonna buy this trailer. So hell
Oh,
with it. I just gotta buy the trailer.
oh man, you're
I
trying to
said it.
trigger me. You're trying to trigger me, right? So everybody's
Hey,
tired.
I need the write-offs.
Yeah, everybody's tired of hearing my nonsense, so I'm just gonna let you talk. Uh, so how does that happen for one to be able to go out and get his own trailer? What's your interest rate like for your loan?
Mm, zero.
How do you do that?
Uh, Believe it or not, when I first started here, I was running what people hate on. I was running Amazon freight,
Okay,
but um, I had some good guidelines and good people. Shout out to you, shout out to Cash, shout out to um, Fate, and I got to give a shout out to with both feet. Um, all four of you. I mean, and there's others as well, but the four of you guys I've taken a combination of what I think is most valuable that I work with, and put them together. And even running Amazon, what a lot of people hate on, think it's the lowest paying freight. As a power only, when I started out as an owner operator, I paid my truck off fast, and then from there, I just maintain that. I think something that Cash really taught me is just stay consistent, keep the truck rolling, and
don't don't you find trucking to be scary?
mm,
It's Halloween
at
almost.
times I
Trucking is
was doing
scary.
power only, and then I thought, you know what, maybe flatbed, maybe reefer, maybe heavy haul. You know what I mean?
So
Uh,
0%. You're saying that you're paying cash for it.
I paid cash for the last trailer, and I'd be paying cash for this trailer.
So
This
I'm
trailer
told that
is much. I will say this trailer is much nicer than the trailer I currently have. Much nicer.
we're told that that can't be done. We're also told you shouldn't because you can write off the interest, right? It's all right. So why are you doing such dumb things? Is what my question is. Like, and you're
Mm.
obviously lying because in this market you can't pay for nothing. Like you can't afford nothing. So I guess why are you sitting here lying to us? Is my first question.
You're right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do exactly what I did before, and I'm going to pull against my house at 30% interest, and I'm going to just go buy the nicest spread axle trailer that there is out there.
You can write that interest off, right? Now, do you also know
You
that
know what? What I was really hold on. I could do it twice. See, now I could write off the interest into my personal name, and then I can lease that to my company.
Mm,
That's what I was really thinking. A double dip in there. You see what I'm saying?
how many
I could make
holding
a
companies
payment.
you got, son?
Mm, I don't got enough fingers.
All right. All right. You know that if that trailer is only 45,000 or whatever, you should really pay 60 for it. You know that,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, coming into the end of the year, yeah, I did. I crunched the numbers on it. That's kind of what I need to do in order for them to give me money back. So yeah, I was I
So
was thinking I would pay 45 cash and then finance the rest, and tell them we do a separate bill of sale and just say, hey, write it that I paid 80 grand for it. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I got you.
I need
Sound
them. I need
advice.
that write out due.
Sound advice. I wish I could think of that. Um, so you're sitting here telling people that there's hope and that like you can make money in trucking. I don't know. That's a bold route to take when everybody's saying
Very
trucking's
much.
over and you can't make any money.
No.
It's a
No.
bold stance.
Yeah, I looked at the numbers today. Pretty impressed. Takes a lot, made a lot of sacrifices, and I still am. I'm on track. I'm not saying that I'm easily obtaining the goals that I've set for myself this year, but I'm on track for them. It is. I still got to push for the rest of the year, but no, you make those connections, and you got repeat business where they're calling you, not you. Calling and negotiating every single load that you're trying to book. You establish that relation. Maybe it's not the best thing or what you want short term, but you put in the work for a few months and you maintain that relation, and you'd be surprised what it turns into. I mean, in
So
all honesty.
I just had a thought, and you're the perfect person to ask this question to. And obviously, it's a work in progress and it's an ongoing thing. Um, you came from a world where you did some sales before you started this, right?
I did.
So so negotiations was something you had done before. But most of
Very
these
much
were
so.
most of these were like one-off transactions, right? Where you're each
For the
trying to
most part,
beat the other one up pretty good and get
big
the
time.
absolute best you
Yeah,
can.
there was very, very, very. You tried to make repeat customers, but it was very cutthroat in that what's in
Even
front of you is pretty much the sell that you're going to get. You're
yeah,
not going to get a ton of repeat.
even if they were a repeat customer, you're still only seeing them maybe once every couple of years, right?
Maybe,
Maybe once, yeah. So and then
maybe.
kind of and then you come into this freight world where you're trying to make everything a repeat transaction
Hmm.
and build a relationship. Nothing is You don't want anything to be a one-off. So have you had to learn that maybe it's not in my best interest to go for every dollar on the table? That there's other things that are valuable in this transaction other than beating them up to the highest price you can on every single load? Is that a hard transition to make, or did it take you a little bit to kind of understand that?
It took me a while. Not gonna lie,
And what
it did take me a while. Um, I understand it. I recognize it. I think I understood it from the get go, but I didn't really take it to heart until I would say in the last 3 to 6 months is where it's really as I was able to be in this type of trucking for a duration of time to really see the market go up and down enough over the last year and a half I've been in this industry, but it's really made a difference in the last 3 to 6 months as far as the relations. And I will say they say um, I've heard Snore Lord say this on his channel. Got to give him a ton of credit to. I've learned so much from him. He's
he
a
doesn't
great
even
guy.
drive a truck. What does he know?
I've learned so much from him. But I think it's him that says, you get your foot in the door with, let's just say, a broker. Let's just say that's who you're working with, and you run a lane or you run a load roughly three times before they even start recognizing and remembering who you are, what your name is, who you're with, and what
So
you're trying to accomplish is a
I,
minimum of three times, in my opinion.
I think what it took you a minute to learn and what most people never get is when they're trying to get the most money you can. That's great. You should always try to get a good pay for the job you're doing, right? But where the real value is, and this is that people you're pulling that load for next Tuesday.
Hmm.
You know what we are to them? We're their first phone call.
Hmm.
And you know why? You know why? It's not because we're the cheapest, is it? And
No,
it's not
not
necessarily
at all.
because we do a great job, but we do a great job. What we are, we're easy to do business with.
Yeah.
When you're
Yep.
talking to somebody, don't be a hard person for them to do business with.
Hmm.
Be ready for their business, and when they give you the business, handle it. Like when he gives us a load, he knows he doesn't have to worry about it. Like we're on time,
Hmm.
we take care of the freight. We've proven through some of the follow-ups that we're paying attention to his freight, right? And when he calls, we already know what the rates are. He doesn't try to screw us over on the rate. We don't try to talk him up on every freaking load. We're easy to do business with. That's and then you become their first phone call.
Yeah. Yeah. What once that transition and this particular, person you're referring to, it didn't really take too long, and it didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would have. A scenario like this, I don't know if you would agree, but I think this took really about 2 months to establish a consistent relation with
They had to
them, I
learn.
should
They
say.
had to learn that what we
Yep.
do, and then they had to learn to trust us. Once they learn that, it's
Yep.
just a matter of, hey, do you have a truck for this load?
Hmm.
And we don't even
And
really to ask the details too. You don't get into the nitty gritty of every load because we kind of know what it is, and the details can change slightly. The pickups can change, and
you
you
know, sorry, what a great example, because being that most of the people on this channel recognize that I am a newer guy in this industry. As far as I mean, I've been driving
not
truck
really.
for 6-7 years, but I mean, as far as reefer goes, I've only been in the game for about a year and a half. But you know, I didn't realize that this is something that you could repeat. I didn't realize that this was just a one off. And then we turn around and we got someone else, out of the East Coast that is kind of the same but opposite, multi stop, coming out of the East, going all the way to somewhat back to the Midwest, and we repeated it, you know what I mean? And we're doing that every single, on a weekly basis. And we don't ask and argue what the rate is. We just do it over and over. And they call us, you know what I mean? That
Because
load is there for us every single week.
every once in a while the rate isn't necessarily going to be what you want it to be because the load's going to be different. But overall, in the long run, you're going to win more than you're going to lose.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So
So
so things are going good for you this year, and you're looking to make some upgrades. Now
very fortunate. Very
you
fortunate.
drive. I think everybody knows you drive a Freightliner Cascadia, right?
I do.
And
Hmm.
you're pretty sharp with your numbers and stuff, and fuel efficiency is important. And
Very.
yeah, I know it's disgusting. It was $2.50 for 4 of them. Mama just got home and she's looking at me with disgust for whatever this swill is that I'm drinking.
Oh, is she?
I don't blame her. Kind of tastes like, you ever spent time around the ass of a dead skunk?
Mm. Mm.
It's
No.
more pleasant than putting this in your mouth. Just saying. Maybe one that's been dead on the highway for a week. Kind of the scent sac is leaking a little bit, and mixed with
You
some
mean
blood.
these?
Yes, that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I will stick with the.
I should have spent the extra dollar, but that's 25 cents a can, man. That's amortize that over 30 years, and what are you looking at?
Hey, do me a favor. Read some comments. I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot what I was even talking about. Big Daddy Trucking.
The cheapest truck drivers you'll ever meet.
Oh, come on now. She's not wrong, by the way. She's not wrong. Big Daddy Trucking. Amazon is location dependent to make decent money. Yeah, he was in one of the best Amazon markets in the country, one of the strongest. Even that kind of sucks now. Marty says DIY are all your drivers self dispatch? No, they're not. Some like to do it, and none of them are 100%. We work together on have a general idea of what we're all doing, and when I see a load in those lanes, that fits the timing, I say, hey, do you want this? Or we're always working towards the goal of getting that truck to this certain place for a certain purpose, and sometimes I'll help piece that together or whatever. Or when regulars call with a load, they call me most of the time. Occasionally reach out to a driver direct and say, hey, do you want this load? And then we'll discuss it back and forth, and does it fit? So yeah, there's a good bit of it that goes on though. A good bit. How many locations do you have in the Pacific Northwest now? Locations. Well, I got two drivers that live in Idaho, but as far as like locations for other stuff, nothing. Oh, for fuel stops. There's getting more. All the time. We've added some in Washington, and they're kind of sparse in Oregon. They're getting more. California, we've added a bunch in California, and there's more coming. So if there's any requests, you know, we're always open to hearing about it. Cheap Freight Hauler says, going to trade my van on a reefer. Reefer freight is best because people always got to eat. Yeah, but the thing is they don't always need you. You know, I've heard that many times. People use that to justify uh, people always got to eat. But go in the grocery store, walk around the grocery store. 75-80% of that store is dry, isn't it?
Question:
Yeah.
do you advise? And I'm just curious. A cheap freight hauler. I know a couple guys that have done this in the past with different kinds of trailers, but I mean, if you really did not have to sell something to get another piece of equipment, especially, I mean, we're in the fourth quarter. Come on, we need write offs. What do you think about the single owner operator? Let's just say the single owner operator, if they had a place to put their equipment and store it, and let's say cheap freight hauler has a dry van and he wants to buy a reefer. What do you think about just adding to the fleet? You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you necessarily have to get a driver for that other piece of equipment. I mean, if it doesn't cost a ton and if it's, let's just assume, paid off equipment or close to it, what do you think about diversifying yourself and saying, hey, during this season, you usually see it more with guys that have both a flatbed and a reefer, not a dry van and a reefer. But what do you think about that?
I like it. One time I had a step deck and a reefer. So, you know, do whatever. If you can afford it and it's not a burden to you, absolutely. I think it's a great idea. Just that piece of equipment that's sitting, just move it once in a while because it's hard on these things to sit for long term.
Yeah,
Just
especially
just move
reefer.
them. Start. If it's a reefer, start it up, fire it up, drag it around the block, keep them wheel seals, lubed up and stuff. But no, I think it's a great idea if you can afford it. But anyway, the people always got to eat thing. Not saying it's wrong, but don't base things on that. Don't fall for that. They do always have to eat, but guess what? The first things to be cut out in hard times will be refrigerated foods because it's generally your luxury items. People don't have to have ice cream. They cut back on produce, especially seasonal stuff. Meat, your meats are more expensive. When times get tough, the cheapest stuff is the prepackaged dried food, canned and prepackaged. Um, and using that theory, it's got to move, but it doesn't have to move on you. The megas that can haul it cheaper are going to be the ones hauling it. So we've had tough times in the reefer business where there's not a lot of freight to haul. So not saying don't do it or you're wrong. I'm just saying don't do it based on that argument. Because like I said, grocery store, you're talking 75-80% of the stuff in there is dry. Now you can haul dry stuff, a lot of dry food on a reefer though. But Reed in the house. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. Chief Ray, a lot of shippers prefer steady rates over the ups and downs of brokers. Uh, they do, but I'm also seeing a lot of shippers turn to brokers right now because brokers are willing to haul freight, move freight cheaper. Uh, they can beat on them a little bit harder, and they sooner just burn through a broker and move on to the next one than they would a carrier. It's way easier. If you got a carrier in there, they got to come get all their equipment. It's a bigger commitment to a carrier, and right now, a lot of shippers are on, you know, 3 to 6 month bids. So it's just easier to turn everything over to brokers right now. So that's what I'm experiencing with some of the people I talk to. So that'll run its course. That'll run its cycle. When it's time for the change, it'll change. Oh, Greg Zimmer, Jeepers Christmas, Jiminy Christmas, Greg Zimmer, $100 super chat. I appreciate it. Great trucking knowledge tonight. Yeah, we're here with the rookie of the year, and we're about to get into some truck comparisons here. Grade 8
Sheesh.
transportation in the house. Talked to him today. Grade 8's finding out what the luxury and the fantastic life it is to have people working for you. You could tell some stories. Maybe you'll see if he wants to do that someday. You can find out. Hey, everybody has the thoughts of like, I'm gonna add more trucks and grow my fleet. You've heard you've heard half of what I got to say on that. Most of it isn't for YouTube. And Grade 8 could probably tell you a lot about the other half. He's experiencing some things right now. So the struggle is real. I feel your pain, brother. Paul Harris says now skunk's ass. That's something I can go for. All right, glad to know you're into that. Mark Ely in the house. How you doing, buddy? This truck and this Walmart life says howdy hey. DIY, is it hard getting drivers through your insurance company? It can be. You know what they don't like to see a lot of anymore is job hopping. I'll be real honest with you. If you're a job hopper, like I think the worst I've had is dude had 14 jobs in 3 years. And they're like, why are you even considering this? Like it's you're a temporary spot. But it's it can be. Thanks a lot. Thanks again, Greg Zimmer. Appreciate that. Cheap Freight Hauler channel member, by the way. Appreciate that. Greg Zimmer also a channel member. How about that? That's what I'm working towards. If I add another trailer, it'll probably be a step. I have a customer that just quoted some step deck loads. Okay. And a lot of times depends on your insurance company. If you have extra equipment more than you have, say you have one driver, 2 trailers, you obviously can't pull both trailers at the same time. So sometimes they'll give you a reduced rate for like a physical damage. You can list something as a spare. Not every insurance company will do that, and they probably won't just automatically do it. You'll probably want to say, hey, can I get spare use rate on this, because I'm not pulling either one of them full time. Tell them which one you pull more. Can't hurt to ask. So anyway, Justin, you're a Freightliner guy, right?
Yes.
Through and through, efficiency, blah blah blah. For some reason you like
Love
money.
it.
I really don't understand that. Like being financially responsible, what's that all about? And
Work.
I just twisted your arm and had you take one of these Macks on about a 400-mile test run.
Roughly, yeah. Yeah, about
Okay.
400 or 500 miles round trip.
So we
Got
don't
about
need to get in.
almost a full 24 hours with it.
Okay. You know what I bought them for. We don't really need to get into that.
Mhm.
It was the price was right. The economics make
Mhm.
sense. So tell us about your thoughts on this truck, because everyone thinks I'm biased. Maybe I am. I don't know. Try to be as honest as possible, but you're kind of a diehard guy like that. What did you think of it?
Mm. Truck review. Okay, let's do this. First off, you are biased, but
I
they
am.
are good trucks.
I like money.
So yes, you do. Yeah, I know. I recognize that. As far as a end game goal truck to go over the road and be in this truck forever, it's not what I would choose. As far as, hey, this could be my first, second, maybe even third truck I've ever owned. Yes, it is a very, very nice truck. Some of the things that I really appreciated and liked about it, I've never been exposed other than I know Fate had an MP8. He had a Mack truck prior to the international he's in. I was never around those, so I'm not very experienced with them. But as far as the motor and the transmission goes together, I think it was a good package. I will say 100%. And please, anybody in the comments that has driven a Freightliner Cascadia or one of those Mack Anthems, feel free to give your opinion on it. But I'd say it was smoother. The transmission was smoother in reverse, backing into a dock. I drove it loaded one way, fully loaded, grossed out, almost 80,000 pounds. And then I drove back empty with a trailer. So I was able to kind of experience both. And I bobtailed the truck a little bit. So it shifted smoother, it rode smoother down the road. Now, as far as some of the amenities, it lacks a little bit with the potential and I'm just comparing to the Cascadia. I'm not comparing to other trucks and
No,
not
we're
comparing
not
to
bashing on anything. We're
you
just telling people what you thought of it,
know,
because I don't think a lot of people even
this is,
consider that as an option.
yeah. So I told you, as far as the bunk goes, the bunk is more comfortable than a Cascadia. The cabinets are bigger than a Cascadia. At least if you have the cabinets in the bunk, the size of them, the cabinets are bigger than the Cascadia. Like I said, the bunk itself with the controls and just the overall being comfortable in the bunk section, 100% more comfortable. The cab section, I got to give it to the Cascadia. The Cascadia's cabinets are a little bit better. The dash layout, that 100% I think is going to come down to a personal opinion. I think that there's some goods and some bads of both of them. I think they're pretty even as far as the dash goes. What you're touching and feeling while you're driving. Again, this is just my opinion, but man, that bunk it's night and day compared to the Cascadia, in my opinion.
What about the ride? What about
The
the
motor
ride and the
had
handling?
Oh my gosh, it is it's night and day. I gotta give it to the Mack. The suspension,
Really?
the shift points, yeah, I gotta give it to the Mack. The Mack took bumps. I've driven so I've owned a 2015 Cascadia and now the 19 Cascadia. And the 19 Cascadia I've now put about 140,000 miles on. So I've had a little bit of time with it. And I will tell you, 100% that Mack was way more comfortable over the bumps. It was smoother. It felt like a Cadillac. I mean, if anybody's driven a Cadillac, older or newer, and you've driven a Honda Civic your whole life, you get in a Cadillac and you're like, oh, this is what a Cadillac's like. That's what the Mack felt like. To me, I've driven T680, couple Cascadias, a cab over, Kenworth T660s. I've driven a few different kinds of trucks, and I would say the Mack is by far the most comfortable when it comes to over the road as far as the bumps go and just how smooth it is. 100% that was the smoothest truck I've ever driven.
What about the steering, turning radius, and steering?
Steering was like butter compared to my Cascadia. It was easier. You could do it with one finger. Maybe I didn't get enough time with it. The controls on the steering wheel, I like in the Cascadia a little bit more. But like I said, I wasn't in the truck long enough to get comfortable and to know all the buttons and I mean, there's so many features with these trucks now. But the steering wise, smooth. I mean, if you driven a Cadillac, it was just like
for turning radius, though. I think you got to give it the Freightliner.
Yes, yeah, yep, little bit. I don't know what the wheelbase was comparison to comparison, but the place I had delivered is smooth and easy. I didn't have to worry about that, but I did focus more than anything when I was backing into that dog. I was really focusing on what everybody knows on an automated transmission. Is it jumpy? Is it smooth? Does it feel like you could just no. That truck, see the Cascadias, in my opinion, you can either barely have your foot on that throttle and it's going to be smooth, but you got to keep it on that throttle. You can't go on and off. Or with the Cascadias, you can let that clutch out, it'll engage, and you could just you're going to go slow, but you can go in reverse and you could just not have your foot on the gas or the brake, and it's gonna stay in gear once the clutch is engaged, and it's gonna just back into that dock just fine. But as soon as you start adding throttle on or off with the Freightliner, no, it's gonna jump. The Mack, no, that's not the case. You could put a little bit of throttle or off the throttle, and it's gonna be smooth the entire time, in my opinion.
Okay.
And that's a big deal to me. Whether you're backing into a dock or a truck spot, it doesn't matter. Just the reverse seemed very, very smooth compared to the Cascadia.
Do you mind holding for a second while I go make an affiliate link deal with Mack before we continue this?
Mm. What
So
else?
okay. What about the visibility and the mirrors, like the stance, the way you sit, you can see enough out of the mirrors?
hmm
Is it tough backing up where you gotta
Yep. You sit
do
high.
that?
You sit high. You sit high. The mirrors are where they're supposed to be. Anybody that owns a Mack knows that those mirrors, those hood mirrors, they're like you know, ant ears or whatever. I mean, they're pretty obnoxious. They're pretty big on the hoods, but no, the visibility was good. All the mirrors were where they were supposed to be. No visibility issues. Um, I will say something that I definitely like, and maybe that this affects something else with it, but something I really liked about the Max is everything as far as the layout. If you're a mechanic, like diehard mechanic, anybody knows that you could look at how a 6-liter Ford is built and just the engineering, and you're like, I don't want to work on that motor. That doesn't look fun. You can sincerely look at these Mack trucks and just go, this looks easy to work on. It really does,
It's
all
kind of
around.
like
From
it has the accessibility of a hood truck, kind of
It does. It does. Not that these DD15s are hard to work on or not accessible, but I will say
tight.
these MP8s, yeah, they're a little tight, and the frames, like just the fact that the frame seems to sit up higher on the Mac, it seems like, or it appears, it just overall, I mean, if I had to choose one to, if I was turning wrenches on one, and they said, "Hey, do the same job on this Cascadia or do this job on this this Mac," I'd probably do it on the Mac overall. You know what I mean? Everything just looked very fairly easy to work on.
Well, Fate Trucking's going for a Mississippi truck wash, and he's going to take the Anthem he was in the other day. Okay, hey, we can make that deal.
Mm. See,
Okay,
I didn't mind the Anthem. I did like it.
well, here's the thing. Assume you're what we call a broke ass bitch. Okay. Uh, is this a good starting point? I mean, how would you say it's a good place to start? I mean, because you're talking
Is a lot nice. It is a hell of a lot nicer than my first truck. I'll tell you that.
that
100%.
same trucks. You get Mack with 400,000 miles. You got Freightliner with 400,000 miles. You got a Kenworth. You got a Volvo and an International. You're talking $20,000 cheaper for the Mack versus the next closest
Hmm.
thing with like comparable
Hmm.
specs, with as much as maybe $40,000 difference between the Mac and maybe your uh 579 Pete or VNL. What's the new Volvo 760 or what, 7 whatever it is these
Hmm.
days. I mean, do you want to, how much less would you like the burden would you like to put on yourself starting out in a you know a weak market with high expenses? um does that would that sway your, if you were starting right now, would that sway your opinion?
It would
And you were
depend on how.
a sound person that make good sound business decisions rather than I have to have this truck.
Okay. Uh, the truth is, it would depend on how much I knew this industry and how much I knew the market. Now, if I was someone that I was willing to accept that I was not maybe the most educated in this industry, or I had been in it before and had the experience, or maybe I didn't have the connections, yes, 100%, no matter what, I would go for the Mac. I'm not saying that I wouldn't buy a Cascadia starting out, but if I was looking to keep my expenses lower, 100%. I mean, it is a lot of truck. Like I said, I had a 2015 Cascadia, great truck. I mean, it really brought me to where I'm at today. I wouldn't bat an eye. Let's just say you said a Mac with 400,000 miles, right?
Or whatever, as long as everything's equal, the same, whatever.
Yeah. I I bought mine with 600,000 miles on it for, let's just say, in the mid 60s, and it did me right, but I would take this truck in a heartbeat 10 times over before I took one of those Cascadias over. I know
Well,
that was different times.
like
I
I said,
recognize that. And the
I don't.
Cascadia was good, but these Mack trucks, they have a price point to succeed. Let's just say that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna sit here and tell anybody that the best thing out there, the best truck on the road. But in my mind, like I come from a time where a starter truck, you got the oldest Freightliner, you know, cab over or FLD or Century in the fleet, and you work your way up. Now, in my mind, if you're starting out, you're starting out in the like my orange Columbia, right?
Mhm.
And that's what a starter truck used to be. But I mean, at the same price point now, you can get something like that. That as far as amenities is way above a freaking Columbia, or or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if a lot of people consider that. And then if you're starting out, generally when you're starting out, you don't have a ton of money, and too many people go and put themselves behind the gun. You start off from behind the eight ball, right off the bat, strapped for cash. I'm like, you got to evaluate what you're getting for the money. And I think a lot of people kind of look at these, and it's like, that's a pretty good way to start. I mean,
I think it's phenomenal. I'll tell you right now, plain and simple. You want to become an owner operator, this is probably one of the best options to get into the game and make money and not be way in over your head. And you know what? It's going to be tough, but it's possible. You still get 8+ miles a gallon out of this truck all day.
so what was okay? You did 400 miles roughly, half loaded, half empty. What did you
Mm-hmm.
what did you pull out of it?
7.8. I was grossed out at 79.90.
Okay.
There's 79,990. I mean, I was, I had 10 pounds of wiggle room. I mean,
I
I was
mean,
grossed out. I
you
was
may have been
heavy.
it may have been 81,000, but we'll never, nobody's ever
I
going
don't
to
know.
confess to that.
I got the ticket somewhere in here,
Yeah, they got you,
but
didn't they? They gave you a ticket.
I was, I was loaded.
One thing about
I
that,
was pretty.
I will say that
Go
truck's
ahead.
heavy. I will say that truck's heavier.
It
That's
is
one
heavy.
downfall. That
A
truck
little
is
heavy,
heavy. Dual
but
125-gallon tanks. That truck is heavy.
I think the right set of tires. I think the right mind frame. I'm not gonna lie. I have a zero breeze in my truck. This was what was I in that truck? A couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, somewhere right around there.
Couple
I
3 weeks.
can't remember. It was still warm out, so I'm not one to idle, but I took it on. I took it on a little short run, and I didn't transfer everything over. I just brought the essentials, and I didn't bring the zero breeze. So I'm not gonna lie, I idled. I didn't idle that much, but I idled for less than 2 hours. Over the course of 24 hours. Right around there, as far as just being parked, not including warm up time or anything, or cool down time or dock time, but just sitting there. I probably idled for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I was still able to get about 7.8. Once I pulled in there for the delivery, which
I would.
I
I
didn't
will
think was too
say.
bad.
I will say the one thing an MP8 doesn't like is they don't like to be idled. They use considerably more fuel at idle than a DD15.
When I
So
pulled into the truck stop prior to the delivery, because I couldn't get there before a certain time, I was at 7.9. When I got off the freeway, I was at 7.9. So I was like, I still had another about 30 miles to go. And I was thinking to myself, man, it'd be close, but I think I might be able to get this truck up to 8 miles a gallon before, within these next 30 miles. Because the last 30 miles were like flat, pretty much flat the whole way, no traffic or anything. I was like, man, I might be able to get this up to 8 mile a gallon. And then I stopped at the truck stop. I idled a little bit. I left the truck stop at 7.7, and I got it up to 7.8 by the time I got to the delivery. By the time I left there and I did not reset the trip and I drove back empty with the trailer, I was able to get that truck up to 8.5. I was there at 7.8, and I was able to drive the other 200 and something miles and got it back up, the average back up to 8.5 miles a gallon. So I think it's an 8 mile a gallon truck. I do. I think you got to be cautious, conscious about it. But I think it's an 8 mile a gallon truck all day, and I was loaded.
okay, yeah, that's a far cry from what they used to be with the Pinnacles and that.
Yeah.
The difference, a lot of improvements versus the Pinnacle as far as like amenities and stuff.
Yeah.
Pinnacle is, I don't know if they were really meant to be an over the road truck, but they were bad trucks. It's not for comfort. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Basically a dump truck with a fifth wheel. Cheap freight
And
hauler
let's
says,
be
"Can you
clear. Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead?
Sorry.
No, go ahead."
No, I was just gonna say, I'm sure that there's a lot of other drivers that are much better, as far as fuel mileage goes. Like I do a lot of cruise control. I'm not gonna lie. I let the truck, speak for itself and do its thing. I use cruise control at 60. I think I was at 65 or 66 that entire trip. But I'm sure there's other drivers out there that are going to say, hey, don't use cruise control. Use your foot up and down these hills. Like I probably could have got better fuel mileage with that truck, to be honest.
I find when I'm driving it, I get a little bit heavy in the foot. I don't
Hmm.
typically drive my truck more than 65 at the most, and I find
Hmm.
myself doing 70 in that because it's so freaking
It's so
smooth. You
smooth.
don't realize you're going
Yeah.
that fast.
Hmm.
Yeah. Chief Freyholler says, "Can you change the crank position sensor from under the hood?" I honestly couldn't tell you. Never had one fail, so I don't, and I've never looked to see what it's like to get at it. So I couldn't tell you. Sorry to let you down. Something like IH guy could probably tell you. Says, "I'm a mechanic. The Macks and Volvos are the worst to work on. Come on, dude, really? They are the worst to work on." I don't know. Uh, maybe. I guess you're a mechanic. You would know better than the rest of us. I think the uh, the Max Force to me would be the worst one to work on. The International Max Force. The thing looks like a freaking science experiment gone bad. Stacks 1967 says, "Had a brand new Max since 2012. Two Pinnacles and my current Anthem, 1.3 million miles between the three great trucks and get great fuel mileage. Great place to start." Yeah, good for you. That's awesome. Now, don't get me wrong. If I could get Cascadias at the same price I'm getting those for, it's Cascadia. Like if they're the same price, it's freaking Cascadia. There's no doubt. But I'm also, not going to put somebody into a deal like we put them on lease purchase. I'm not going to put somebody in a deal that they can't afford or that's bad for them. And honestly, most of them probably want to upgrade at some point. But guess what? Then they get to earn it, and then they got some equity. They got a truck that's paid for. They earned it. They paid for it. They got some pride in it, and then go trade it in and use their own money to get whatever the hell they want to get. That's a good feeling too. And having starting a lower price point is it's going to help you do that. So, Josh the vegan in the house, how you doing, my man? Cheap Freight Hauler says, used Max sleepers are cheaper than Volvos, but you get the same powertrain. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Volvo's Volvo's a little nicer interior. It's more amenities. Um, Volvos are set up, you know, more for to live in, driver comfort. So, but yeah, the engine, the D13 and the MP8 are the same. They can have different electronics and programming in them, but the mechanics are the same. So it's the same transmission, the same engine, same turbo. Um, yeah, the powertrains it's the same. Fate Truckin says, "Does Rookie Trucker have Cash App? He's very knowledgeable for his age and experience. I'd like to support the trailer he wants." Do you have a Cash App? Let's put your Cash App out there.
Nah,
Come on with it.
nah.
Mm,
No Cash App. Mm-mm.
I don't believe you.
You want to, hey, Fate, you want to do me a solid? When I can't make two of the three pickups for one of my loads, can you go pick them up for me? And then can I use your trailer?
There you go. Even if a guy shows up with cash in hand DIY, I won't take it. Ask me how I know. I don't know that
Mm,
you've promised cash. You haven't shown up with cash in hand. I don't know if Cash would like that anyway. He doesn't like people putting their hands on him. He's got a patience stick for that. Snorlord in the house. Oh, we were bagging on you earlier, Snorlord. Channel member says hello. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Turn that beast into a 6x2. Hmm. There you go. Some people doing that. Greg Zimmer says Zero Breeze is awesome. I got the battery pack and the AC unit.
Yeah. Don't make the mistake I did and just buy the one. If you can, if it's you got the funds for it, get 2 batteries, you know. I only have one for mine. I could still purchase the other. I just haven't done it yet. We're coming into winter, so I think I'm all right, but I wish I would have bought 2 of them, you know. That's probably what I would recommend to do for anybody that's looking to purchase one is to get 2.
Okay. Cents per mile says, will the sleeper fit 16 immigrants? If you can't fit them in the sleeper, there's a lot of room back on that catwalk. Just saying.
Mhm.
Just saying. I don't know that cabinets are big enough. How big are these people? They tiny little people? Cheap Freight Hauler says, my Kenworth was showing 11 miles per gallon earlier. How do you all survive at 8 miles per gallon? It's tough. It's tough. It's a dog's life. I'll tell you what. Your kids got to go without some things, but you can do it. I'm just saying. You can do it. Greg Zimmer says, is the new Mack built solid build quality? I'll let you take that one because I'm biased.
Yes, the only thing, I mean, you got to remember, I'm looking. I test drove a truck that had what 408,000 miles on it, roughly.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a brand new truck. It's not at the end of its life at all. Not even close. But it's not a brand new truck. I would say the only thing of quality that I saw that I did not like on this particular truck was I did feel like just not the dash, but the window switches I felt like could have been beefed up a little bit. The window switches
They're
seemed a
a little worn.
yeah, a little worn. But other than that, the only thing that I would say is I didn't love they were far superior compared to what you would see in a Columbia or an older style of truck that didn't even come with them standard. But the curtains, if we're really comparing against, let's just say Freightliner right now, that's what I drive, so that's what I'm comparing it to. The curtains, functionality, they're fine. What I didn't like design wise is you've got to move those sun visors completely out of the way in order to close them all the way. Which, if you drive a Mack Anthem, you know what I'm talking about. But and then they also, which you can add, they didn't have any kind of Velcro or they kind of you just got to overlap them, the best you can, which is fine, not a big deal. But really, man, quality wise, those were the only 2 things. I mean, I didn't see anything in there that I felt and touched that I was like, this is poor quality. Like, absolutely nothing. I mean, everything to me was on par of the Cascadia as far as quality goes, if not better on the interior wise. The seat was comfortable. The stereo was better than the Cascadia was. The air conditioning was by far better than the Cascadia was. Where they placed the vents and the blower motors that they got going on there, the Cascadias only have, at least in mine, I only have like one vent in the lower bunk. The Mac had, I think, 2 on each side. So not only by your feet, but also by your head. I don't know, the Freightliner, they must have assumed that you're automatically going to put your head on one side of the bunk. Well, not everybody likes to sleep that way. Maybe somebody likes to sleep the other way, and they've got equal amount of vents, for the air
Did it?
conditioning on both sides, which is awesome.
Was it just the vents or did it blow colder?
Oh, it blew colder. It blew
Mm,
colder. It was more powerful, and there was more vents in the Mac.
yeah.
And I'm telling you, the bunk. I never been in a bunk that nice. Never,
Cool
never,
locks.
not even close.
Cool locks. Get you some.
Mm,
I treated it with cool locks on the
mm.
AC system.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah,
that makes sense because
I did both the
yeah, the
Macs.
the Cascadia ain't got that. No way.
We could we could do your truck if you want to ever. Uh,
Let's do it.
one thing I found was a shortcoming is the lack of freaking light switches in the bunk. Like you cannot turn off dome lights, on or off dome lights when you're back in the bunk. Did you notice that?
In the
There's
Mac?
one, Yeah, just there's that one little round spotlight by your head. You got to switch for that. Other than that, I didn't see, unless I missed them, any switches for the freaking dome lights.
Okay, just in the bunk though. You're not talking about
Yeah.
the whole cab.
No, just in the bunk.
Okay, yeah, no, that's okay though because you've got the dimmer. See, the Cascadia doesn't have that. You've got. Remember, you were talking about how it's got that dimmer
The rope
light that's all up by the cabinets. That rope light. That to me is one of the best features that the Mac has. It's something so small and so simple, but I don't know how all these other guys are. But me in the morning, I'm not like, hey, I wake up, let me just turn on a light and it light up the entire cab like crazy. I'm like, you know what? Let me just turn on a little light here and kind of wake up for 5 minutes or so. And I'll tell you, man, that dimmer light was awesome because you could just turn it on and it's almost like a night light where it's like, okay, I can get up, I can put my clothes on, and then turn it up a little bit more and let me make my coffee and then let's brush our teeth and let's rock and roll, you know what I mean, then turn everything on. And that is a great feature with that truck.
If you're trying to set the mood for your lady friend that you picked up in the back lot, you gotta
Hey man,
get a dimmer switch.
i might
That's what you're saying.
I might be scared of the dark. I might have just slept with a little night light on just in the lowest setting. I don't know. I might have though.
Shaky Pete says, I think the Volvo engine is decently good. It's all the other stuff that is the problem. Okay. Yeah, I mean the MP8, it's got its known issues. I mean between 5 and 600, between like 550 and 650, 100,000 for mileage, you're gonna need injectors and cups. That's a known thing
Mm,
with those.
mm. I gotta touch on something
Okay.
real quick. Another great point. And if you drive a Cascadia, you also know what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about a Cascadia, at least mine's a DD15 with the DT12 transmission. I got 228 rears. When you're pulling a hill, it depends on what the hill is. But if it's a somewhat steep hill, all of a sudden, like if you're going through Iowa and you're going through some rolling hills on the 80, for instance, um, that truck has no problem for some reason to go from 12th to 10th gear. You know what I mean? In a heartbeat. If it senses that you're going to be pulling a hill, it's going to downshift and it's going to pull you into that, 1700 RPM range for no reason.
You
Okay.
can hit that
Go ahead.
performance button. You can hit that performance button and
You
gain torque.
could. You could, but when you're driving 600 plus miles a day, you know, you sometimes you get a little lazy with that, and you get complacent, and you don't think about that, or you don't remember to put it in performance or manual mode. You're just cruising down, and you think, hey, the truck should go down to 11th, not 10th. You know what I mean? It'll pull this hill no problem in 11th gear. The Mack won't do that. The Mack will not do that. The Mack will downshift the gear necessary. It won't shoot you up to that 16, 17, 1800 RPM just because you're pulling this little rolling hill. And
Well,
that is a huge thing.
and another thing Freightliner's got better is the E-Coast. The Mac doesn't have the E-Coast where it'll throw it into neutral.
The E-Coast is huge, but let's talk about the Jake brake.
Oh, that trick, you can't beat that Mac Jake brake with the transmission
You
brake.
can't beat it.
So
Can't beat
you
it.
can go.
Everybody.
I don't know if you knew this, but you got the 3-stage Jake brake, right? You
Mhm.
move that arm. If you get it into the third stage and you bump it once, you'll see an icon light up, and it throws that transmission brake on as well.
I didn't see. I didn't notice that. I just know that I didn't put it in level 3 and it go to 2200 RPMs like my truck does, unless I have it in there. It's stupid. I mean,
The
it's like it's
DD15 will scare you a
unreal.
little bit with that. Yeah,
Oh, dude, you gotta put that thing in manual mode, otherwise, I'm telling you, if you're tired at all, and that thing will wake you up.
you'll be 2500 RPMs before you know it.
Seriously, I mean, it's unreal. It's like, come on, man. One gear at a time, would you?
You want me to put a nipple on that Keystone light, so maybe you'll have a little bit of it, or put it in your mouth, or what are we doing here?
Which one? The
What's
the fourth 16 ouncer?
what's that?
Since we've been on the show down there.
All right, I'm only on my
That's why I
second.
keep leaving. I gotta go. I
Oh,
gotta go drain it. You know what I mean?
okay. What's that? What's that stuff you're chewing there?
Oh, I
Get
don't
into
know.
Granddaddy's chaw.
I don't know. It's from fake truck.
That's nasty. That tobacco's nasty, son.
It's better than that water vapor in my
This
lungs.
is true. Butch says window switch is hell. I'm stuck with cranks. Yeah. Yeah. I like the cranks. Sense for Mouse says, does this deal come with a sweet decal design option? Oh, it could.
It
It
does.
could. We could. We could
It
sweeten the deal
does.
up a little bit. Pick your own vinyl. What's a reasonable down payment you accepting? I like the 100% down plan. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's be realistic about this, though. I mean, seriously, should I mean you're I mean, are you a bank?
I play one on TV. I am not.
I
Many
mean,
people think I am and treat me as one, but I'm not.
I mean, what do you think is fair? I mean, you think 20%? I mean, realistically, jokes aside, what do you think? 20%? Do you think that's fair? I mean, we're not talking about $150,000 truck here.
Bank's gonna want like a minimum of 20%, and your
Okay.
bank's probably gonna get you for 13 to 15% interest, and any truck financing company is going to get you for at least 18%, most likely, probably more. They
Let
were, I mean, during the COVID thing, they were 28% or more. You know, they're laying it down on you, but you're still trucks are always high interest. They're risky loans, man. They know they're going to take a lot of them back,
now
and
you see all these companies promoting that. I mean, zero money down, you can get into these trucks, and they do $10,000 a week. I mean, week in and week out. Why wouldn't they do that? I mean, is that realistic or no?
oh, what's that? The revenue?
Yeah,
Oh man,
ten
yeah. If they
thousand a
give you,
week. I just saw one today.
they're giving you, 4 sign-ins to your ELD, and they got you running on
Mm,
2 hours of sleep a day. Yeah, they'll get you that.
mm. What kind of escrow account do you think they have?
Probably. Oh, it never stops. Then we, but don't worry, you pay, you
Hmm.
pay, you
Do you
pay.
have an escrow account?
Uh, no, but someday I'll learn my lesson and start one. Make people do it. I should. It's stupid of me not to, because I'm gonna get hurt bad someday. I know it. I'm gonna have to start doing that. If you think about it, somebody bolts and then they wind up with a $700 toll violation bill because they skipped a bunch of tolls, and now they're gone for 3 weeks, and suddenly I get a toll violation in the mail from Pennsylvania for $700. They're not going to give me they're not going to pay you that.
What's the toll?
Exactly. It's the price you pay for being me. Sense for Mouse says I don't run dual black lights as cab lights. Every time I run at 3 a.m., it's like an EDM dance party. Chief Ray Holler says, "Do you recommend owner ops buy new trucks?" I mean, where are you at in the game? Is this your first truck? Then no. Is this your fifth truck, fourth truck, seventh truck? Hey, you obviously know a thing or two about a thing or two. You want to treat yourself, knock yourself out if you can afford it. But I don't think a brand new truck's the way to start. I don't care if it's lease purchase from a mega. I don't care if it's you going out and buying your own. Like, you are saddling yourself with a debt that you probably cannot ever overcome. Uh-oh. We lost our boy. He'll be back. He'll be back. 1700 is too many RPMs for these new air engines. Yeah, you got that right. You got that right. The bump past third jakes will aggressively downshift the transmission. Yeah, it's even on stage 3, that's going to hold you on most every hill, most everything you come to. Chief Trailer, have y'all seen those trailers with the orange signs saying 2,500 a week without owning equipment? I have. And it's what they're doing. They're just running you to death, resetting your logs. Look who these companies are. They're your, you know, they have a commonality with them all. I think we're getting him back here. He's busy buffering at the moment. Let me take this opportunity to tell you about the DIY semi fuel card. I'm putting a link in the chat right now. Get you some of that. We're growing. We're doing well. Things are happening. We got tons of new fuel stops all the time, and good discounts and prices. And for the month of October, you sign up. Guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna go all mud flap style on your ass. And I'm gonna give you look at this. See this stack of gift cards right here? You're gonna get one of these $10 Ambest gift cards. You can do what you want. You can go in the store, buy some food, use it for
I
fuel.
don't know if they can see me or not.
You find that lot lizard in the parking lot
Okay.
that you
I
can
can
dupe
see them here.
into taking this gift card. Hey, have fun with it. DIYsemi.com or just click the link in the chat, whatever. We lost him already. Having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection. Was that me or was that him? I don't know. Might have been me. Let me repost my shoes in the Cheap Freight Hauler says, thinking about a new Volvo 860 6x2 with the lift axle. I saw one of those. He had super singles. Oh, I saw it at the Louisville Truck Show. He had super singles on that baby. He had that thing done up right. And I think the quarter IFTA he was showing was like 10.2. Man, he worked hard at that. He had like the FAS on there and all the aerodynamic stuff. So yeah, let's try to get this boy back here again. Muse Samatar, which truck would you prefer? The Volvo D13 and Mack Anthem. They're the same engine. It's the same engine, same transmission, just a different chassis. So, I mean, figure out which one you like better on the interior and go with that.
Back anthem.
We got you back. Oh, you never been in a Volvo?
No, I can't hear you.
What do you mean you can't hear me?
I can hear the distance. I can't see anything on the show.
What in the hell kind of show are we running around here? Just hang in there a second, see if it gets better. My internet shows good. I don't know. Are you connected to the right Wi-Fi? You connect to the Wi-Fi,
No.
the 5G one. Go ask Kelly what the
Okay, hold
password
on.
is. Shaky Pete says, I'm driving a Volvo and it has 264 rears with a 455 horsepower D13 and it's pretty good up hills. How? I have no idea. Because it's a direct drive and what's going on out there? And 455 horse. That's not a bad setup. Direct drive should give you pretty good fuel economy. You there
Okay,
now?
we back. We
Oh,
back.
you're much better now.
Mm.
Chief Railer says purple Volvo. That would be Joel. Yes, it was. It was. If I lease purchase, can I modify the sleeper floor? What are you trying to modify the sleeper for?
Stripper pole?
Probably put some of them freaking green strobe lights in there. I'm not even gonna try this name. Sidhu to you of Windsor. I don't know. Just picked up a 2021 Mack at 320,000 miles. Really hoping the whole thing works out. The new MC is proving to be a big reason for trouble with brokers. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today, weren't we? Having a new
Yeah.
MC right now,
Yeah.
brother. I wish you luck, but you're up against every
Stand by.
you're up against every freaking problem you could possibly encounter. New brokers don't want new MCs. You probably don't have any inspections. You're probably gonna have trouble with fraud. Um, you, I hate to tell you, man, but you got it all working against you. So, good luck to you. And if it proves to be too much, find a good carrier to lease onto. I mean, I couldn't imagine starting with a new MC number right now. Greg Zimmer says, "Was that purple Volvo getting over 10 miles per gallon at the truck show? He's my hero." LOL. Yeah, I forget the dude's name, but he has a whole. I think he might have a YouTube. I don't think he's got a YouTube channel, but he got a bunch of stuff. Um, yeah, that thing was decked out for everything economically. Shaky Pete says, "I shift 12 speed." Yeah, yeah, you're probably doing well with that.
Smooth.
Yeah, have him turn off his cellular and Wi-Fi. Yeah, you're on Wi-Fi now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
We back. I'm sorry. I am gonna need to get a phone charger though, man. You're right. This phone is dying quick doing this live show.
Oh, is it? Sorry. We'll wrap it up soon.
Oh no. You're good. I had no
Anybody
problem with it.
anybody know what ratios is good for low RPM since most of the truck come with 12 speed automatic? Uh we're liking like what do we got? 228s and 218s. Get you down pretty low RPMs with the DD15. Um that's
Depends
pretty
on
low.
depends on the truck. I will say like Cash has a lot higher of a gear ratio than what mine is, but he's got the overdrive versus the direct drive. These
Yeah.
Cascadias are direct drive, so I
Depends on
mean
your
I
final drive ratio of your check
yep
your final drive ratio of your transmission first.
yeah because at 70 miles an hour I'm at about 1400 RPMs, um, and I know Cash is at much lower than that, but I
Yeah,
really
that first Anthem I bought with 247 rear ends at it's 65 miles an hour. You're at like 1150 for RPMs.
yeah, not me,
Yeah,
but it hasn't really. Maybe it make a big difference on flat ground, but I mean, you know what I run. I mean, I got some mountains, in half of the driving that I do, and it really hasn't hurt the fuel mileage. I mean, I could be at 13 to 1350 RPMs, and I'm getting great fuel mileage. To be honest, I
yeah.
think it depends on the motor. I think it depends on the setup. It really does.
Some of your new trucks like the 24s, 25s are set up to go down the road at like 850, 850, 900. It's just crazy.
It's crazy.
Like I would be, in an older truck, you'd be afraid you're going to snap a crank, at those RPMs. It's just
Yeah.
stupid. But that's how.
Older trucks, that's what some of them idle at is 800.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you gotta get into engine, transmission, final drive ratio, rear end. That's why I like an integrated drivetrain. They've put a lot of thought into that, um, right off the bat, right at the manufacturer. Chief Fowler says Muse. It depends on the truck manufacturer. Yep, yep. I think the new Packers are the ones running super low RPMs,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken. Sunny707 says depends on what freight he runs. Might make it a little easier or harder. Yes. Snorlord says new MC is rough. It is.
Yeah.
Hell, right now old MC is rough. It's all rough. I'm at 1500 at 70 miles per hour, pretty much. That's what you probably got like 355 rear ends. That's about right. I guess depending on what you got for transmission too.
Yeah. How many gears?
I'm a Freightliner guy. Special Detroit 12.7 is what I own. I'm looking into Mack M8 with a 264 rear and Volvo 760, the D13 and 264. I mean, they should both be pretty fuel efficient.
Mm.
Um, I heard 247 is pretty good. Yeah, it is in the one we got. With
What
both.
kind? What kind of driving are you doing with that though? You know what I mean? I really think that's what matters in my opinion.
If it ain't 100 mile an hour, we ain't doing it.
Yeah, there it is. I gotta
Um,
grab. I gotta grab a phone charger. Give me one sec.
yeah, I'm not saying it did happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but with that first one there, with the 247 rear ends, um, you can get going awfully damn fast and not realize it. I think I set my own personal land speed record in that truck. and didn't even realize it till I looked. Well, the damn thing was beeping at me first, dinging at me. It's like ding, ding, ding. And it's middle of the night, and I'm like, why in the hell is this damn truck dinging at me? Like, there's no check engine light. I'm like, turn signal ain't on. I'm like, what the hell's going on in this truck? And just cruising down the road, and I was on a slight downgrade. I was heavier than hell. I was grossed out. And all of a sudden, I'm looking. I'm like, oh, that's an overspeed warning. Now, I was only going like 1450 for RPMs, but the road speed to match that RPMs, yeah, is really high, and scared me a little bit. So I'm like, oh crap! Hope there ain't a cop sitting in the middle or something. So we're at 1150 at 65. So at 1450, you could probably do the math on your own, figure out what that math is. Um, I'm gonna. You good?
Yeah. Oh, we good.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Depending on the year, if it has a VGT engine, 264. If turbo compound, then 247. Okay, there you go. 18 speed with 355s. Okay, yep, thought that sounded about right. Sounded about right. Sally K says, "Hey." Okay. You got anything else for us? So let's just summarize. You're doing well. You're better than the rest of us. You make all kinds of money. You're buying new equipment. What else? Do you care to make the statement, "I'm better than you"?
Then who?
No, it's everybody.
No, not at all.
No,
You
no.
kidding me? I have so much to learn. So much to learn. Yeah. Trucks and trailers that are in some of these docks, and I think to myself, man, am I doing it right?
Mm. Have you ran any relief loads DIY? No, we haven't. I have a friend that's out doing it though. He's driving that big. There's some famous barbecue truck that's a tractor trailer set up to make barbecue, like meat, barbecue meats. And he's down there. They're heading to I think Ocala. Then they're staging. No, Tallahassee. They're gonna stage and then send them down to Tampa. I guess is where they're heading. But it's some famous barbecue truck he's driving, and then I think they're gonna fly him back. I don't know, but we're
Yeah,
too busy. We got.
shout out to all the people that are going through what they're going through down there, man.
Oh,
That's a real bummer.
I couldn't imagine.
I couldn't imagine
Just some
either.
food for thought, guys. If you live in an area like that that's subject to those kinds of things, you have any kind of medical, whatever, sleep apnea, diabetes, if you're on insulin, please have yourself a generator
Mm.
and at least some gas on standby so you can keep your insulin cold and if you're going to die without that sleep apnea machine, just think about these things ahead of time. You don't want to figure that out after the fact. But no, we're plenty busy with what we're doing here. To I don't want to walk away from our customer stuff and the stuff we do regular to go do that. Even though it is lucrative, it's going to be temporary. And if we walk away from the stuff we're doing regularly to do that temporarily, well, guess what? When it's time to come back to do this other stuff, somebody else is going to fill our shoes, and just not going to let that happen.
100%.
Yep. Says you need an extra large Gatorade bottle.
Me? Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I keep the 1 gallon milk jug around. Trust me.
Yeah. Cheap Frailar says power only loads are paying better than van loads. For
Today,
for the first time ever, we picked up a little bit of power only work. Somebody we knew needed 15 trailers moved out of a certain area to another area, and it said we could load them. And they're like, well, what the hell? So that's doing a little bit of that right now. Never really done that before, and that's very, very temporary.
do you think that maybe got your foot in the door with them?
I don't know. It was through a friend. A good friend of mine had it offered to him through a good friend of his and said, hey, we'll do it. We'll do them all, but I have this friend that's going to help, and he's like, cool. So it can never hurt. It's another one of those things of helping a guy out, and I mean the money's good enough, and you help somebody out, and if they just learn your name or whatever, and or if it makes opportunities for us and that friend, what can it hurt?
So is it going to a company that's somewhat local? I mean, somewhat local to you within the same state at least?
Yeah, it's like 100 miles away. It's this equipment company bought a bunch of trailers at auction.
How many trailers roughly? Ballpark.
15.
Gotcha. Okay. So they must need those 15 trailers. I mean, they must be moving some sort of freight, right?
No, I think he buys and sells equipment. He's got a warehouse. When I dropped a trailer there the other day, and the bay doors were open for his building. When I looked in the bay doors, he's got a warehouse full of reefer units. There's got to there's got to
Interesting.
there's got to be at least 100 reefer units just sitting in there on racks.
Okay, so he may not have freight for you to pull in the future, but there's a chance. So now you made a connection with a guy that sells equipment that you
Yeah, may
need.
need equipment moved, or hey, if I need a reefer unit someday in a pinch, um, I know where there's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
You
pretty
know,
nice equipment.
yeah, I was surprised. I thought it'd be some clapped out junk, but no, I would own any of the stuff we touched so far, just about.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I know he got it for a song and a dance. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I would have known about how much it would go for.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he'll take them trailers and he'll make sure they're good shape, and then he'll turn around and sell them, or he'll lease them out. That's something I'd like to get into, something like that. But he's
interesting.
got he's got a pretty good setup there for doing it. So,
Mm.
Sally K says, I'm looking to start a new MC. I have a good plan and what exactly I'll go into. Any tips before I open it up? Uh, all I'll say is you better make darn sure you got the work, man, and that it's for real and legit. Because if you don't have it and you're trying to start an MC new and just go run the spot market, you got a lot in store for you. You're gonna have one hell of a time. And I'm not trying to discourage you or whatever. You just need to know the reality of it. Um, it's hard. You got a lot working against you. Your
Mm.
your chances of success are slim to, I don't want to say none, but slim to very slim.
Do you think that any sales training, or I mean, some of these brokers 100% will not touch you if you don't meet certain criterias, but in a time like this, I mean, is it really time to maybe invest in yourself into how to sell yourself or to sell your company? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or sell your future plans? I mean, does that play any kind of a role nowadays?
it's always a good idea, but for most of them places, it ain't gonna matter. They got hard and fast rules, and if you don't meet them, too bad, so sad.
Mhm.
And then when you talk to you about it, but there's always the ones or hell, maybe you'll strike up a deal with somebody and you don't have to use a broker. That'd be awesome. I have without knowing, no idea what you got going on. So I'm just saying and talking in generalities.
Yeah.
Um, Sonny says, "Yes, sir, that makes sense. That's why I ask. I love your business sense of mind. Thank you for all the info." I don't know what I said. Apparently, I must have accidentally said something smart. That'll happen. You talk long enough, you're bound to say something that makes sense someday. We weren't supposed to get hit, but got hit and had 70 to 80 trees. Must be trees laid down. Damn. Yeah, you're down in Georgia. Dang. Yep, trees. Okay. Well, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. Uh, regarding have new and from something authority. Okay. Amazon was paying 10-ish a mile yesterday. Woo. There you go.
Yeah. To a place that's 4 foot in water.
You get them high flotation drive tires, you'll be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I saw everybody hyping up what Amazon's doing, and it's the end all be all, for that minute. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I just prefer, it served me well through the years to not chase the hot dollar in everything, in trucking, in investing, in life in general. Just
Oh,
stick with it. I've never really done it, and not saying it's a win or lose proposition. It's just served me well
I
to just stick with what we do. You know,
I don't I get that. I don't think that you should shy away from, hey, this is hot for this minute, but just don't get mad at the industry when you try to base your business off of that and then all of a sudden it doesn't pan out. You see
well,
what
it's
I'm saying?
like what happened during COVID. People based their business on $5 a mile, and you know, did you? No, not so much.
No, I didn't base it on that, but I'll tell you, man, I got spoiled real quick. I knew it wasn't gonna last. I was smart enough to know when I got into it that it wasn't gonna last, but I prepared for it. And you know what? I made adjustments because I had to. I was just fortunate enough that I did it before it got me to a point where I was like, uh, now there's no turning back. Now I'm stuck. You know what I mean? I was in a position that it was an easy transition. I was very fortunate for that.
Easy transition, even with all the surgeries and the hormone therapy and everything.
Mm, mm, easy peasy.
There
You
goes the
mean all
show.
the
There goes
all
the
the all the
monetization.
changes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Irk says, ask him to sell you one. Might. I bet they would sell me one. I don't need one right now. Cheap Freight Hauler says, I need one of those black and stainless dry vans listed in Minnesota. I haven't seen those.
Go get them.
I am seeing 9,000 team runs Kentucky to Washington dry van. Ooh, that's tasty. How much should I spend on a decent dry van trailer? 8 years old, for example. 8 years old, so that would be what, a 2016?
15
Oh,
grand.
geez, you should be well under $10,000. I mean,
Oh, that low?
it's a dry van. It's not a reefer. Think of what a 2016 reefer is going for right now. You can pick them up for $12,000. So
Yeah.
you're talking dry van. I wouldn't pay $10,000 for one. It's 2 years away from not being paper grade anymore. At the 10-year mark, it's not paper grade. You know, same with a reefer. It's not food grade at 10 years. A lot of people still load it, but some of them won't.
Yeah.
Trailers lose a lot of value at that 10-year mark now.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
you go. $8,000 trailer,
I think cheaper
180
than that.
$180,000 truck. You're good to go.
I feel like 2016 van. I mean, I feel like I could be off here. I haven't done the homework. I'm just shooting from the hip. I feel like it should be like $5,000, and it better be roadworthy at that price.
You're talking a set of brand new trailer tires.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Damn.
auction. There's a lot of equipment sitting at these auctions, man. It's crazy,
Mhm.
crazy. So those,
Yeah.
so just for some insight, okay, those 2016. Well, I won't give too much. w- Most of those trailers we're pulling are 2016 Great
Mhm.
Dane, Great Dane reefers with carrier units on them, around
Mhm.
20, right around 20,000 hours.
Mhm. I know what they're going for.
They went from between 8 and 10,000 bucks.
Mm.
I would have bought a few of them. They're
Mm.
Everest. They're Everest. They're Great Dane Everest.
Mhm.
I pulled a frozen load home with one. I mean, cooled like a beast. Cooled
Yeah.
like a beast. You know, so with it's hard to pay for trailers right now. You know, a lot of money. So
Maybe I shouldn't buy that trailer I'm looking at.
no,
Maybe.
the one you're looking at is a great trailer. You can't compare that to a 2016. I mean,
I know. I know. I just
it's a quarter of the hours. So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, yeah, you're
you
right. I don't see the equipment going much further down than where it's at, in my opinion.
well, you gotta say how much closer are we to zero than we were 8 months ago?
Hmm.
And equipment's obviously not going to zero. Uh, it has some intrinsic value. There's nothing else that has scrap value. So how close to zero are we? How fast do we get there? You're closer to bottom than you were 8 months ago. How close do you believe X age of truck with this many miles on it? How close to zero do you believe it can go? And you start approaching that point, and you got to say, okay, well, we got to be somewhere close to bottom, because they're not going to give these things away for $100. There's a point certain point they just won't sell them. They'll just keep them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not saying that it's a bottom, but I'm saying we're pretty fairly priced right now.
Mhm.
I mean, to look at some of these trucks, don't get me wrong, a show truck is a show truck and it's just beautiful, right? If that's your thing, that's your thing. But to look at a truck that's obviously intended to be for looks, or a show truck, and to pay $160,000 for that truck, when I could get one similarly spec'd with the same mileage, just obviously not a show truck, for 70. I mean, how do you justify the extra $90,000? I mean, people will pay it. Don't get me wrong. There's people that will pay it because that's important to them, and that's cool. But business wise, there's a great divide in that right now because trucks are so cheap.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you still have those trucks that are selling for a large amount of money. The disconnect is too big for me to make that leap and make that make sense. It just doesn't for me right now.
Yeah.
If it's a
Yeah,
$25,000 or $30,000 difference, it's easier to justify. But when you're talking $70,000, $80,000, I mean, oh,
Mhm.
if you're talking a W9 Icon, custom hood, stretched out, and that truck's 180 grand, and then you can look at I don't know, T680 or an LT or an Anthem or Cascadia with the exact same mileage on it, and just because it's an aero truck, that thing is $50,000. That's a bridge too far for me. I don't care how pretty that truck is.
The job's to move the freight from point A to point B, right?
Yeah. Now, if the job is go to different truck shows and win blue ribbons, that's a totally different story. Then you got to look at it a different way. But
Gotcha.
man,
Fair.
we know which team I'm on. But Fate Trucking says not only a connection with new equipment guy, but connection with the loadout after picking up trailer only takes one to ruin it. Are you gonna be that one to ruin it, Fate Trucking? Is that what you're saying?
Ain't no way. He don't blow out his trailers there in docks. He don't he don't haul chicken loads and then paper loads.
Oh,
Get a washout.
oh,
That
damn.
hurt the soul.
Mm. You got one more in you? Got one more in you to finish me off?
Yeah,
Come on.
he don't leave French fries in the back of trailers when he's gonna go pick up other loads.
Oh, damn it.
Let's see, do I got another one? You got another one? He don't trade off trailers with other drivers and say, "Hey, sorry, I didn't clean it," and say, "I cleaned it before the last load," and I'm like, bullshit."
He don't let anybody pull his trailer and say, if you mess this trailer up, you're buying me a new trailer.
Oh,
And
he
then
got me. He got me.
and then take other said person's trailer and back it into a pole. Mess up the door. He don't do that.
Ouch. Ouch.
Oh,
Ooh, that hurt. That hurt, dog.
oh,
I
man.
pet that dog. She. No, you got me. You got me.
Chief
Oh,
A-
Scott's laughing right now. I know he is.
Oh yeah. Chief ALR says it's nice to have been able to mostly stay home the last couple of weeks and take care of the home stuff. Nice. Oh, there you go. James West says just bought a new Mack Anthem 2024. I'd like
Nice
to.
truck. Congrats.
Yeah, I drove a 22 when I was looking at these, and they're very very similar. Essentially the same. I don't know why I'm so intrigued by it, but I'm intrigued by that Emax shift package. Do you have that in your truck, James? And have you noticed it makes a significant difference in fuel mileage? What kind of mileage you pulling with that thing? And then what are your rear ends? I'm intrigued by it. You can upgrade to it. I just don't know that I would see any benefit from it because to change the shift points when you're already running 1150 RPMs down the road at 65, I don't see that I would see any benefit from just changing the shift points. What say you, James West, if you have that?
Unless you're running in Texas and you're like 98% flat, you know. I could see where it could be a benefit. I just don't know if it is if you got any sort of mountains or hills at all.
Yeah, and I honestly I don't know enough about it. I just know it's a feature and it's supposed to get you
Hmm.
a lot better fuel economy, and that's kind of how it works. So I don't know anybody that has that. I'd like to know.
Are they selling you?
They sell it was who's selling me what?
Is Mack selling you by oh god, this Emax? I mean, I know it's a feature. I know it does
Oh, I
something, but
got you.
like you said, I mean, I would love to compare it to somebody that drives this truck full time, 100,000, 120,000 miles a year at least, and one that's got the same gear ratios that has the Emax and one doesn't. Is it that big of a difference? We talking point one? Are
Well,
we talking half a mile a gallon? Like, what are we talking?
the one that I test drove, lifetime miles was like 363,000 miles, and lifetime fuel economy was exactly 8.0. Okay, but
That's good.
then you gotta say, okay, well, are they pulling light freight? What are they doing? You don't
Mhm.
not knowing what the truck did, had significant idle time on it. So, well, I
It
don't know.
had to have been getting pretty good rolling average.
Yeah, is it geared different? What's what with that? But I don't know. Fate Trucking says I'll buy one. Okay, Paul Harris. Oh, I missed this question. Will places still load an 8-year-old dry van? Yeah, yeah, 8 years. As long as it's in good condition. Yeah, holes in the walls that could be different. Like anything else. Sense for Mouse has just missed out on a 2024 tri-axle RGN for 45K. Normally that's at $80,000. Yeah, why so cheap? That doesn't make any sense. Hmm. Cheap Freight Hauler says the rookie is laughing, but I pull a van I bought in 2020 for 11K with my $200,000 truck. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah. Hold on. Cheap freight hauler. I was more referring to the guys that are getting into the industry that want to buy. I wasn't referring to the people like you that have been in this for a little bit. I was referring more to the people that are more focused on driving the nicest hood truck that they can lay their hands on, and then just pulling the cheapest freight out there. For the most part, and just getting into the game and not being knowledgeable. That's more what I was referring to. So none taken.
that's all right. He's gonna cut your tires now. He's the one that's been drilling holes in people's tires, and he's gonna find you.
Chief Ray Holler's a good guy, man. He's a good guy.
Uh, Irk says you're doing the Lord's work. Been watching you for 3 years. You the man. Well, I don't know about all that, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. By the way, Irk, do you have the DIY semi fuel card? Go to DIYsemi.com, get you one of those. Sign up in October. We'll get you one of these, Ambucks gift cards. Mail it out to you for signing up. Appreciate it. Doing good things. Thank you. Yes, I have a couple lanes that I could do. I'm just trying to figure out all the stuff I need to open it up and get a good insurance quote. I'm still under 25. What they say to kill me with that premium. You're gonna pay a premium. Have you seen my video on starting a new authority? Sally K. Go back and watch that. It's gonna give you all the information you need to start your own authority. All the steps you need to do it in, what you need to do. The only thing missing since that video was made is the Connecticut permit, the Connecticut weight distance permit. So get you one of those. There's a video on that too. That's going to tell you everything you need and what order you need to do it in to start your own authority. And then I still wouldn't do it. uh,
Boss man, I'm gonna jump out of here.
are you?
Yeah, I got some stuff I got to take care of, so I'm gonna jump out of here. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks, Fate Trucking. I don't think I saw Cash in here, but thanks with both
He's home.
feet.
Yeah,
Any of the regulars, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm gonna jump out of here, but
I'm gonna
thank you
I'm
for
gonna
having me on the show tonight.
I'm gonna wrap this up as well. So everybody appreciate you coming in, and we'll get back at her here. Good to see y'all again. Take care. Have a good night.